Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I came across this statement this morning and it struck a chord. It is back when the Bible was written, then edited, then rewritten, then rewritten, then re-edited, then translated from dead languages, then retranslated, then edited, then rewritten, then given to kings for them to take their favorite parts, then rewritten, then rewritten, then translated again, then given to the Pope for him to approve, then rewritten, then edited again, the rewritten again, all based on stories that were told orally 30 to 90 years after they happened to the people who didn't know how to write. So, from one David Cross, I had come across this name David Cross before. Apparently the guy responded to the unfortunate violence that we are witnessing in the Middle East. And I found the position of that David Cross. I don't know if it was a David, but apparently it will be this guy. I found his position interesting and not something I could dismiss, but that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is his view of what the Bible is and how people perceive it. And his statement elicited the following comment from me. I will not go as far as David Cross. In my own case, I will separate the two scriptures, the Old and the New Testament. I will look at them differently. But then, even though much of what he wrote makes sense and is historically true, a lot of the things he said is the truth. We treat the Bible as if it does not have a history. It has a history. But you have to study religion at an advanced level to understand that the Bible has history. But let me not go into all that now. Let me simply give you my response to his very clear statement. I said I will not go as far as David Cross, even though much of what he wrote makes sense and is historically true, and was my basis for telling a dear friend recently that it would be a great mistake to even begin to think that the traditions called Omenana are in some ways of less importance than anything else. I'm being categorical. By even preserving the descriptive, by Omenana, even preserving the descriptive of the religion and culture of the Hebrew Bible. There is a religion and a culture inside the Hebrew Bible. There is a folkway. There is a way of life of a people. In spite of all the rewritings, all the editings that David Cross noted that it happened, we still see the descriptive of that way of life of the people that the Bible discussed. And it is called what? Omenana in the Igbo language. That Omenana retain that descriptive should be something that everybody in the world should marvel at. But usually people in the world don't marvel at the things that should matter most, because it takes a very long time for the truth to percolate around the world. By even preserving the descriptive of the religion and culture in the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, it tells us about the core essence of the culture and religion of the Israelites. You want to understand something very well, know its name. The religion and the culture of the Israelites, the descriptive in the Bible itself is Omenana. Religion and culture you shall do in the land. This is not an interpretation. This is a translation of the phrase Omenana. Ome means to do. Nana means in the land. And so crucially, as Omenana is still a living tradition, it goes even further. It helps us to understand the text, that is the Hebrew Bible itself, where the writings are not clear. I would make this admission. People that want to understand the circumstances surrounding the status of Joseph and Mary, the father and mother of Jesus, they have to understand the Omenana. If they understand the Omenana, then they will understand the status of Joseph and Mary. In Omenana, the betrothal is like the marriage itself. This is, I left the Old Testament and went into the New Testament so that we will have an idea of the profundity of Omenana. The text, on the other hand, helps those who really want to understand the religion and culture of the Israelites, which we still see in Omenana, very clearly in Omenana, to remove the assimilations and the infiltrations that have come into the Igbo world. I wouldn't say they came into Omenana, because to say they came into Omenana is for example, to say that infiltrations and assimilations came into the Old Testament. The people that the Old Testament was given to, the people that the Ten Commandments could give into, I'm talking about the Ten Commandments, they could become corrupt. But could the Old Testament be corrupted? No. Omenana cannot become corrupt, but the Igbos can become corrupt. The Israelites can become corrupt. Remember, the religion and culture of the Israelites in the Bible, the descriptive is Omenana, is not limited only to the Igbo people. It's only that the Igbo language retained this descriptive. What I wrote is new. Most people in the world don't even know that an Igbo people exist. And interestingly, let's leave the issue of the Igbos and the identity aside. I have some beans and lentils cooking in the fire and it may get burnt. Let us face this business. And few have had the term Omenana, but there was a time most people in the world, including the philosophers, believed with religious fervor that the world was flat. So in time, the truth will become mainstream. For now, it doesn't matter. Only very few people have had the term Omenana. So as far as they're concerned, I'm speaking Hellenic Greek. Only one response came in to this statement. It came from Rebecca Araujo, a woman of Sephardic Jewish background, who may also have some Igbo background, because as far as we know, some Sephardic Jews joined Hebrews who had already began to form what we know as the Igbo people today. She responded, she said, light always shines upon the truth sooner or later. Why was she able to say this? She had attended Shabbat services with Omenana Defenders, the Igbo group that is committed to return the Igbo people, to return the people of Israel, starting from the Igbo people, back to that Israelite religion found in the Bible. Inspired, I continued. I wrote, good morning, friends. This is from me, Remy Ilona. Just as I believe that it's a big mistake to even think that Omenana can in any way be viewed as less important. And then I went and talked about the status of the study of Omenana. As far as I know, there are some Igbos who have become rabbis, but I know only 1, 2, 3, 4 rabbis that have studied Omenana systematically. I'll mention one of them. He is the president of Obadiah Alliance, the Sephardic Jewish Bedin, the Sephardic Jewish group that constituted the Bedin, that removed the shame that had hung upon the people of Israel for over 100 years. In the modern era, when anybody can find information, it was only in 2022 that a Jewish organization acknowledged that the Igbo people are lineal descendants of the Israelites. The Igbos, by the way, I will give them credit here. They don't always deserve my commendation, but I'll give them credit here. When almost everybody in the world denied the Jewish people, the Igbos said, these were our people, in action and by words. But let's not get into what happened between 1950 to 1966. In time, we will see all of them, even though some of them have been revealed in studies like that of Dr. Daniel Lees, Ashkenazi Jewish social anthropologist, who earned a PhD studying Igbo history and wrote a book that will be relevant forever as far as Igbo Jewish studies is concerned. And by the way, he's one of the 2 or 3 Jewish scholars who have studied Omenana. There are 15 million Jews, but I cannot say that up to 5 of them have who are scholars, up to 5 of them who are scholars. I mean, when I talk about scholars, I mean university-affiliated people who have spent the time systematically studying Omenana. Of course, one of them is the guy under whose tutelage I earned my PhD 2-3 months ago. The only rabbis who have studied Omenana agreed that Omenana was what the scribes who wrote the Torah were citing. I'm also saying that as long as the whole of humanity don't in some way understand the religion and culture in the Hebrew Bible, will continue running around in circles. I'm hopeful that the return to Omenana going on among the Igbos will ultimately presage a return to the Hebrew Bible and inspire millions to really begin to study the still misunderstood scriptures. I could only understand the full import of an eye for an eye after I ran it through the Igbo experience. This despised ethnic group in Nigeria, out of the 350 ethnic groups in Nigeria, you can overlook the braggadocio of the Igbos. They are despised. They are scorned. They are always humiliated. They are singled out for opprobrium. It is only this group that can beat its chest and say we have not participated in mass killings, genocide, or other such egregious atrocities. And why haven't they participated? I wrote it down. Wired deeply into their souls, which stood at Mount Sinai, is if you kill, you will be killed. An eye for an eye. And even in their state, in their present state, they understand what the Bible means, what the Torah means when it says, you shall die. They know that it doesn't always mean just lying down and not waking up. They know that it means that your generations will essentially be in perdition. They know that. They know that when it is said you shall die, that it doesn't mean only by the time the doctor says life has left. They know that it means much more than that. Because they had this commandment and also had an eye for an eye, they understood that they have to be extremely careful with the human life, with the human dignity. That's why they did not participate in these egregious crimes I mentioned. An eye for an eye is actually a deterring law. If you are 100% sure that if you take out somebody's eyes, your eyes will be taken out, you will be extremely careful. The Igbo experience made this as clear as the day. We have reached the 15 minutes mark, heading into the 16th minute, and my beans and lentil is burning. So I'm going to take leave of you, but not before saying Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.